Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at the 1660 Ti, and this one is the ROG Strix Gaming Edition. And this actually comes factory overclocked. So this card's actually pretty comparable to the GTX 1070 that came out about 2 years ago from today. It does perform very similar. Maybe in some cases it is actually a little bit better. So it comes with the Turing architecture shaders, and that's the new generational CUDA cores that come out with NVIDIA that they did for this year. And even though this is a GTX series, it actually does come with the new architecture for the Turing one that just came out with more of the RTX cards. And as you can also see, it comes with DDR6 right here, GDDR6, which is really nice. And that's something great. Now the only thing is with the 1070 and compared to this one actually comes with 6 gigs. The 1070 come with 8 gigs of RAM. Not a significant difference, especially over time, but it would have been nice if they would have put at least 2 more gigs. Alright, so let's get into it. We're going to do an unboxing real quick. Alright, so here's the side. You can see 1660 Ti. It's a pretty big box. Actually, here's the size of my arm. Actually, it's pretty comparable to that. So, it's actually a really big box. But yeah, it's really nice looking. You see that has a nice little packaging from ROG. Alright. And here's just the back of the box. You can see it just kind of talks a little bit more about the specs and what the little inputs are there. On the back you can see it has 2 HDMIs and 2 display ports that come in. It does talk about the heatsink. This one does have a much better heatsink. It's a little bit thicker than typical cards, which is really nice. It kind of just talks about the Aura sync, so it has RGB lights on the side. And it also has little tweakers and a BIOS switch, which is pretty cool. And this one actually has 3 fans, which is a lot better. You want to go always with better cooling, and the third fan is actually going to give you a much better, and the third fan is going to make it more quieter as well. Alright. Alright, so let's just cut it open right here on this edge. Just like that. And pull out the little slit here. Pull out the little slit here. You can see the Strix logo right when you open it. Okay, now let's take it out completely. Okay, and we can put this to the side. It's really nice. We like to keep this nice too. Okay, you can see, and okay, you can see the Strix logo that comes up right here. Alright, now let's open it. So when you open it, it does show you an ASUS. It's kind of like a pamphlet. It looks like it comes with, let's see. Okay, so you have, well, that's pretty cool. It's a little cardboard box. It comes with the speed setup. Just kind of like a Google graphics card manual. Shows you how to do everything, where to plug everything. It's pretty cool. Just a little basic setup. So it does come with a CD. I'm not sure why they continue to do this. I don't know why they don't just give us a USB, especially how flash storage is really cheap nowadays. But this one actually comes with not just a driver, but it comes with, it says on the side, it comes with Google Chrome, the Google Toolbar, the ASUS Aura software setup, the GPU tweaker, and the quantum cloud software. So that's kind of funny. I actually put Chrome on there, so there must be some type of little sponsorship there. But yep, so there you go. It comes with a CD. And now let's get to the meat of it. So you take off this little styrofoam package. Okay, so now you can see before we get to the card, it actually is little zip ties. And now here's the graphics card. It's actually pretty heavy, believe it or not. Okay, so here it is. It comes packaged very nicely, very well. Let's take off the back here. Just be very careful always with these cards. So it comes with a very, very nice back plate. Always as ASUS always does. And you can see here there's actually, that's an LED switch right there. And there's a dual BIOS mode switch that goes up here. So pretty cool. You can see how thick it is. This is definitely for heat. The heat sink's always really big and they're very nice on the ASUS models. Down here's, oh, look at that. Beautiful. It's like a really strong plastic. If you've ever had an ASUS monitor, the plastic's very similar actually to what they put on this card now. So of course you do have the 3 fans. You have on each side they have the ROG logo, and then in the middle you actually have an ASUS, which is pretty nice. And here you can see the connectors. There's actually 2 HDMI right here with the covers on, and you also have 2 display right there. Okay. So here's an overall kind of look of it. Very nice. It's pretty heavy, you know. Here's kind of the front. And it does come with an 8-pin connector for those wondering. You can see the ROG Republic of Gamers. There's a logo there. Just always that cool design, the Strix design here that goes throughout. Again, it's very similar to the monitors if you ever had one, and usually a lot of ASUS products kind of stay about the same like that. They're always very nicely and well done. So one more cool fact about this card is that the naming. So the naming is a little bit strange how they go from a 1060 to a 2060, and they have a 1070 and a 2070, and then they just all of a sudden name this one the 1660 Ti. So the reasoning is that they call it the 1660 Ti is actually because it's supposed to be between a 1060 performance and a 2060 performance. So they wanted to get the numbers in between, and somehow they came up with a 1060, and somehow they came up with a 1660 Ti out of all of that. So that kind of gets me, but that's supposedly their reasoning behind it. Then again, I mean, it's really nice. This will perform almost the same exact, if not a little bit better in some circumstances, as a 1070. And we actually do have one right here. You can actually give a size comparison. So this is the Founders Edition 1070. You can see a GeForce. Here's a GTX. And here's kind of a size comparison between it. So the ASUS one's, well, of course, the ASUS one's always a little bit bigger. And it's going to be always a little bit thicker. And of course, you can see the heatsink is massive compared to this one. This one just has a blower style fan, like that. Of course, the design isn't nearly as nice, and you're going to get a lot more performance and longevity. Definitely out of the 1660. Yeah. So the 1070 also has an 8-pin connector, as you can see on that one side. Okay, so here's the connectors, and actually this one actually has a DVI, a dual link right there. So it actually does have one more connector than the 1660 Ti, But you're gonna again be missing the DDR6. You're gonna be missing the Turing architecture, and even though this one does have 2 extra gigs of RAM, you're just still gonna be missing that. And you always want to get the better performance. Okay, so here's another size comparison, and of course I didn't take out the cover of this just yet because I just kind of want to leave it on. You can tell this is the ROG one. There is another one that has overclock as well, but this is the ROG version. It's much nicer. You can tell the design, the fatter heatsink, and the triple fan layout. You can tell it's a pretty big size. It's very comparable to the 1070 in performance. When the 1070 first launched, it was $349, and that was about 2 years ago. This one with the ROG edition is a little bit less than that. Maybe this comes in around 320, 330, depends on where you get it and stuff like that. But of course, this is the ROG edition. So the MSRP is quite a bit less than that. Usually you can get them, usually you can get a 1660 Ti. If you get the ASUS ROG edition, it usually does jack up the price a little bit, maybe $50, $80. It just really depends. And there's a few versions of that one you can get, but try to get this one if you can. If you're looking for maybe around $300, $350 this is definitely the way to go. You want to get that heatsink. You definitely want to go for this heatsink right here. Like how much cooler it will run. It's factory overclocked, so you're going to get even a little bit more performance on that, even though you are spending a little bit more. But this is definitely the card to go, especially over the years. Some cards do go bad. This one actually comes with a 3-year manufacturer's warranty. And you want that cooling and all that performance that you're going to get from this one. You always want to spend a little bit more money on the card. You don't want to get a real cheap card that doesn't have much cooling because it can go bad over time. This card's probably meant more for, they say it's more for 1080p. If you're going for 1080p gaming, that's definitely a way to go with this one. You'll get a very high frame rate 1080p gaming, and you can get max settings at the same time. So if you're going to push maybe 144 hertz on a 1080p screen, this is definitely a way to go. You can maybe bump it up to a little bit. Maybe you want to get a 2060 if you want to truly max out the AAA title games for that. That'd probably be a way to go too. If you're looking for maybe a 1440p card, try to go with a 2060 at least. That'll get you higher frame rates. But if you're looking at maybe 1080p. Okay, so that's just been a quick unboxing of the ASUS ROG Overclock Edition for the 1660 Ti. Still recommend getting a little bit better card for that because it is very difficult to push all those pixels.